Beyond his academic excellence, Samuel is passionate about social impact and entrepreneurship. He is the founder of the Skill Up initiative, which promotes digital literacy among young people in Lagos, and is the co-founder and CEO of CreekNect, a startup working to make renting a home in Nigeria simpler and more trustworthy. Additionally, he was the licensee of the first ever TEDx event in Idi Araba, bringing thought-provoking conversations to his community. Let's give it up to Scholar Samuel Badekale, please. Let's give it up. Let's give it up to him. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, Scholar Samuel. We really do not appreciate your presence for granted. We do not take it for granted at all. We do not take it for granted at all, at all. You can unmute your mic, sir. And please, like I said, let us stay all through the end of this call. There's a lot to unwrap. There's a lot to learn, relearn, and unlearn on this call. If you're enthusiastic about reading the Erasmus Mundus in 2027. Thank you very much. Oh, let's keep appreciating it, please. Let's keep appreciating it. Okay, let me read the second speaker's bio right now. Second speaker's bio. I'm going to be introducing the second speaker. Okay. Before we move on, I realize there's a technical breach. Okay, so we have 100 participants on this call, and our speaker is trying to join the call. Okay, just 1 minute, please. Just 1 minute, please, everyone. Apologies, I apologize for this. Please, just 1 minute.
Ewu àbókì, sábòkì nìkan. Báyìí ni wọ́n ti rà ní àbábọ̀ ti ráhùn nígbà tó ṣàbẹ̀rẹ̀ lélẹ́yìn arábọ̀ báyìí tí fọwọ́ báyìí ló fi mọ́ ara tí fọwọ́ eléyìí mọ́ ara ọmọ fúra báyìí lọ́mọ nígbà tí èèyàn rin nǹkan mọ́ nǹkan lọ́mọ rẹ̀.
Okay, so we have our speaker finally. Welcome, sir, Scholar Samuel. And I need to mention something right now. We just realized that the call is our Google Meet is only for 100 participants. I'm very sorry for that. Like So if there's anybody, if your network is bad and you log out, you would have to join in again. I'm very, very sorry. Tomorrow, by God's grace, tomorrow we are going to get a better space. But don't worry, if you don't miss out, if you do miss out on today's session, like maybe because of network, the session is recorded. This meeting is recorded. Yes, it's recorded. So without further ado, once again, I would like to apologize to every other person that has been trying to join in. Please accept my apologies. Thank you very much. Tomorrow is going to be better and bigger. So welcome, Scholar. Let's appreciate Scholar Samuel. He's on the call with us right now. Let us appreciate him again. Scholar Samuel Badekale, the OPGS, as we all know him to be. Welcome, sir. You have the mic, sir.
Thank you very much, Mabiola. It's a huge pleasure to be here. Can we drop the scholar with the all scholars here? So, but it's actually a huge pleasure to be here, and it's amazing to see the turnout. Like Abiola basically said, sincere apologies to those that seems like they might have to be locked out, because I faced similar issues coming in. Like I couldn't get in initially because it was full. So, but it's a huge pleasure to be here, and a great thank you, a great form of appreciation to the Mind Tribe community for bringing this together. To be honest, it's one of the best things we could have at this moment, because I realized a whole lot of people, and it's something I've discussed with some of my colleagues over the time that we even plan on doing some of these things, is that a whole lot of us back home in Nigeria have the skills, have the skill sets, but the problem has always been getting into scholarship programs. Trust me, I've interacted with a lot of individuals, and it's not as if they are better than you. That's why they got into the scholarship. A whole lot of them just basically understood certain aspects. So I would share my slides. I would share my slides on what I have today, and I'm going to be quick because I have just about 15 minutes, and it's going to be really intense because my focus today will be on the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship. So if you can see my slide, just let me know. And let me see. Why can't this work? No, I'm sure I couldn't talk. I think I would have to go with the entire screen.
Okay, Scholar.
Okay, can you also my screen? I think this is better. So
Yes, we can see your screen now.
Yes, you can see your screen.
yeah.
Yes.
So basically, like I said earlier on, my focus today would be on how to win an Erasmus Mundus offer. And because this is really important, especially in a situation where we are in as a country, where most of our options are limited. Currently, we can't go to US schools, so we are basically stuck with Europe and the United Kingdom, Australia, China, Asia generally. So it's really important to basically put up the best form of application. So for today, it's just basically we would focus on the Erasmus Mundus scholarship. And this is me, like I said earlier on, as it was stated earlier on. I'm an Erasmus Mundus scholar in the MemBioMed program, which is basically from the Erasmus Mundus from membrane biology to neuroscience and experimental medicine. And technically what it does is, and this is similar to all Erasmus Mundus programs, is you school across multiple institutions. As you could see from admission letter, from the University Côte d'Azur in France, University of Genova in Italy, which I'm currently in, and next week I'll be moving to Osnabrück University in Germany for my 3rd semester. So technically that's what the Erasmus Mundus program is. It's a 2-year program that basically covers multiple European countries, and you basically get a master's degree or a joint diploma from each of these institutions where you basically specialize in a particular niche. So I would do a brief background about myself because I basically wanted to understand the target audience. And I know that a whole lot of us here are basically looking for scholarship applications. So, so that means we are graduate students. Like I can assume that quite a number of us are like graduates already. So you have your CGPA. So, but I can't start telling you how to build CGPAs. But if you're still in the university, one of the basic criteria you should have for every scholarship application is have a very solid CGPA. So, but your CGPA, as you would see throughout this whole presentation, your CGPA is basically not the whole thing. So before the MemBioMed ever said yes, and trust me, this was my first major application. Let me give an overview of what my profile looks like, what I tried to build all through my undergraduate years. And that way you basically understand what it takes for this to happen. So yeah, academic journey. I graduated from the University of Lagos. I was the overall BGS with a CGPA of like 5.0 out of 5.0. So yeah, it was a very, very strong academic standing. But you soon realize, especially when you get into a program like mine, is that you are technically not the only ones with perfect CGPA. Because I have classmates with 3.99, some with high crazy CGPAs, best in their class too. So, and you realize that globally, in a Nigeria setting, this is really huge. And truly gets me into so many rooms easily. But also, you come to realize you're also competing with people from all over the world that also have similar CGPA. So your CGPA is always the first thing that gets you into the room. The minimum is always a 2 and a first class, but your program would always tell you what they want. And the next step is always your research experience. So for me, I had my undergraduate thesis, which was on cycling activity of Theobroma cacao. Now you might be wondering, how did I do a research in Theobroma cacao, which is a plant-based study? And I'm doing a master's with in neurobiology, membrane biology, and you basically understand why all of this happened. So in addition to that, I had 4 research internships, basically before I applied for the program. So I developed this during my undergraduates. Then I didn't have a publication, but I had a conference presentation, and which was like, I presented at the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research conference, Lagos, in 2024. And I think I was awarded top 8 young scientist. So there was that aspect. And then leadership, I founded, I did a TEDx conference in my community then, which I was a licensee. I was a 2022 United Nations, blah, 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 blah. Now you might be thinking, no wonder I want the scholarship, but trust me, you don't really need to have all of this basically to win any major scholarships. Not all of my classmates, even in the program currently, had all of this. Yeah, there are always exceptional cases, and there are always, so what's like the basic minimum for this? So that's where we will start. Now, like I said already, your grades already qualify you. To be honest, you have a 2-1, you have a 5 points, you have a first class. Basically, yeah, they're always graded, but on the barest minimum, your grades already get you into the room. But that's not what the offer wins the offer. Now, let me give a context to what I mean. For example, this was my application. The number of us that applied in my program when we did your stuff, we are about 837 applications received. And note, they only chose 17 of us. Now, out of that 827, how many do you think would be first class? How many do you think would be without strong CGPAs? A whole lot of them. So basically, what basically separates you is not just your grades. Every applicant has a strong CGPA. The committee is reading for something else, a story they can believe. And how do I know this? Because during our welcome week, my professor basically did a review of every single applicant. And trust me, the number one thing that came to their mind was not their grades. When they were pointing out things in our applications that stood out, which I would point out here too, I was even shocked. I was like, oh, come on, it's my grades and all of those things. It was basically certain points in our SOP. And that's why storytelling, they used to say storytelling is basically for content creators. But to be very honest, storytelling is also very important in an academic setting. How well you tell your story. You must be able to convince whoever it is that is reading your application that this is what you need. So a story they can believe. Now, the first thing about Erasmus Mundus is, and that's one thing I love about the scholarship generally, is this. Your competition is in the whole world, and you would wonder why. Unlike major PhD programs or master's program, technically, whereby they will put everybody in a single pool, and you have to compete against the best of the best of the best. That means you are competing with people with greater research experiences and all. For the Erasmus Mundus, it's actually quite different. And this is very important for you to know, is that your competition isn't the world, it's for those within your region and your nationality. And why is that? Erasmus technically has a rule in which they can't take more than 10% of a program scholarship from a single nation. That means max, if they have to take about 20 people in a program, they can only take 2 from Nigeria. Now, some programs technically have exceptions in which you can see like 4 scholarship recipients. Maybe those 4 were very exceptional and they couldn't bring them up. But generally, what you just have to do is majorly make sure that you are better than the next person who is applying. And now this is difficult because it's in Nigeria. We now crazy smart we are. But at the same time, it also gives you a leverage. The moment you can show that even with little resources, you are better than wherever it is around you, then you are in a capped race against what every other strong Nigerian that is in your cycle. Then from Nigeria, they move to your region or Africa, ensure that you are the best. Technically, if you were the best in Nigeria because of the population, Nigeria always has like one of the highest applicants of scholarship within any African nation. So if you are technically the best Nigerian, there's a huge tendency you might place one of the top 5 within the African region. Then you basically now compare those results all over again. So you basically understand the hierarchy. Now, so how do you start with an Erasmus Mundus program? The first thing is there's what we call the Erasmus Mundus catalog. And I don't know if everybody has, I do hope I'm not just talking too much, but can anybody know what the Erasmus Mundus catalog is all about? So I would basically share my screen to show you how the Erasmus Mundus catalog is. So technically, sorry, I need to open a new tab so that most of these things are okay. So technically, Erasmus Mundus catalog is this. It's a joint master's program offered by several, like I also explained. So if you need to, what the catalog does is it lets you see all the existing programs. Now, I can paste this in the chat box for everybody that's really interested. But one thing you need to do is you need to know about the program, if they have funding and whatever it is. So you can filter them. There are over 220 programs. But now, not every program is actually meant for you. You are meant to select programs based on your background. So let's say certain keywords, your field of study is always even the most important. So because I'm in a MemBioMed program, so I believe quite a number of people should be in the biological sciences. There are people coming from engineering and the likes that would also speak. So let's say for me, medicine, life sciences, and what else? So let's say that's it, maybe a bit of chemistry, and I just want to see. So I can basically filter based on this. Now, this lets me see, remember we had 220 results, now it has dropped to 40. So now I get to know which kind of Erasmus program it is. So we have the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master in Insects as Solutions for a Sustainable Future. Now, this is great for people with zoology backgrounds and all. There's also the Bio and Pharmaceutical Material Sciences. There's the Sustainable Neuroscience. There's the Erasmus. There's the Master in Science, Forestry, and all of those things. Animal Biodiversity and Genomics, European Forestry. I have a friend in basically this. European chemistry she just got in this year, and we knew. Then there's the imaging, which is actually a sister program to my program because it's hosted by the same institution. Then there's the cutting edge surface, and this is my program, membrane biology to neuroscience and all. So basically what the whole catalog does is to help you select, and please, sorry, it's in French. Most times it switches because of the, but you could basically change it to English. So you could basically choose whatever it is, the countries, if you want to start up from a country, your project selection. Well, basically it's always important to filter by your field of study. So that means now you look at these programs, let's say, oh, I come from a biological science background. This is interesting, you open it. Oh, neuroscience is interesting, you get to know through them. And what is my program? I know. So now that's the thing. So back to our program. So now for me, I chose MemBioMed because I come from a cell biology and genetics background. I didn't come from a zoology background, so I couldn't basically go through the insects, whatever. And the most important thing is choosing a program that's basically aligned with what your undergraduate study has actually been. It gives you more greater advantage. And every program would always say, now, once you've gone through the catalog, you've chosen whatever. Now, know the requirements code, then audit yourself against them. Now, this is where students basically do miss it out from, is that they go through the catalog and just apply to every single thing and say, oh, this. If it's a job application, it's always a job game of numbers. But basically in scholarship applications, it's always a game of best fits. You must be best fit to whatever it is that it's in your application. So you have to go through each one of them. Every application used to have, let me use my program, for example, it's the easiest one I can do. So every application used to have like what they want for eligibility criteria. So for example, you come to admissions, oh, this picture is here. So you eligibility criteria, you application and registration, and you basically see whatever it is that the program actually wants for. Eligibility requirements is always the first thing you should read. Language proficiency requirements, and this is something most Erasmus program would always ask, and it's important you write them. TOEFL, IELTS, Cambridge. Sometimes, right now, some program would accept Duolingo, but my program doesn't accept Duolingo. So you get to know which one they want. Now, sometimes some program might accept this 2 years minimum, but I would always advise you to write either IELTS or TOEFL. They most likely sometimes don't accept this. Then your education background, they will tell you what they want in science, technology, with basic and advanced courses in this. I think for my program, it's always difficult for medical doctors to actually get in because of some of the requirements they would always ask for, like STEM, science, technology. And while some programs, they will basically open it for everybody. So once you've gotten to know this, it's very important to know your requirements of code and rank yourself against them. Then know what they need to know. Keep it sharp. Know if your program is actually strong. Now look at what you have technically. And for me, despite the fact that I had good research experiences and all, you'll be so shocked that I didn't really have so much of a solid research experience in neurobiology, membrane biology. In fact, I had nothing. And this is where your SOP comes to play. So I knew I had no background in neurobiology. So in order to show that I could involve or could relate to it, I had to take online courses on neurobiology from Coursera. Now that's something you need to know. So once you start finding weaknesses, oh, I knew I didn't have this. Oh, neurobiology from Coursera and that. So the next step is always to prepare a Europass CV. Most Erasmus program would, let me try to round up, would always ask for a Europass CV. And I think most speakers would still speak on this. So in the exact format, this is the link to actually get your Europass CV. And this is a template of mine. You write your about me, your education and training. The webinar is so short to teach us how to basically create a CV. So, but I'll try to summarize it. But the Europass is basically straightforward. It allows you draft out whatever it is you want. So your education, your background, whatever it is you needed. And now the statement of purpose. This is where it's actually one. And I'm going to use mine as a template to actually explain how I leveraged all my weaknesses. Your CV lists all your achievement, but trust me, your SOP is the only place where it actually matters. And why do I say so? So for example, this was my letter of motivation for the Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters. And it's this one mistake a whole lot of undergrads or graduate students always do is they undersell themselves so much. You graduated with AI first class, you were the best student in your class, and you just basically write it as, oh, I graduated this. It's always very important to always put your achievements in a quantitative format. Like let them have something they compare it to. For example, if you were 10 in your class and you were the best graduating student for those 10, you make it known that you were 1 out of 10. In most Nigerian universities, you're always like 100, you're always like 200 in your department, and you were the BGS. It's always very important to contextualize it. So for me, it was basically simple. I understood this, and at every point, I would always put it out. So I stood out among 9,684 graduating students. Then if you noticed, they said they wanted students with a particular background. So I had to show them that I had those background in my SOP. So I had to now tell them my biochemistry, cell biology, genetics, and molecular biology coursework has provided the experimental background, the membrane structure and function to thrive in MemBioMed. So now this is me telling them I have the grades they were looking for. And if it's about the bachelor's degree that you also wanted, my coursework has actually made me do this. Now, how do I now navigate the whole essence of research experience? It was this, and this is why I said storytelling is really important. So I told them, and this is the paragraph my professor pointed out that really stood out to my application. And it was this. I said my interest in membrane biology began while I read a book known as The Spark of Life, Electricity in Human Body by Professor Francis Ashcroft. And I said, while reading a book, I researched on certain ion channels using sulfonylurea for type 2 diabetes, inspired me to explore similar membrane transport-based approaches for sickle cell disease, Nigeria's most prevalent genetic condition. Then I explained vaso-occlusive crisis, SCD's leading complication, or when blah, 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 blah. Now, what I wanted to point was, I now said that targeting these channels to restore ABC dehydration. Now, this is known as a statement of purpose, telling them that, oh, this is what the research I would like to do. And how would this program actually allows me to perform this research? Is that MemBioMed provides ideal training to explore this research. Then I explain their courseworks that would actually provide me with cutting-edge techniques. Then also with their academic research groups to guide my master's thesis to improve this. Then I went on to say I initially wanted to do this research for my undergraduate thesis, not like I just came up with it, but due to financial constraints and equipment unavailability, I pursued a cost-effective alternative, which was my undergraduate research. And this project owned my ability to conduct independent research and strengthen, for which I won a research grant. And this. Now, if you notice, contextualizing, among it listed from 152 applications for the External Young Scientist of 2024. Another thing, putting up all your achievements. So, and that's something a whole lot of, I would have loved to share the entire thing, but later on. But that's one thing I would always tell people is don't be too shy, or you could be a very humble person in real life, but once it comes to your application, put all your achievements there. Put every single achievement you've ever done. Let it be stated and write it in a very compelling. So every community is always looking for your motivation, your feats, then evidence, specific projects and numbers, like I said, not just adjective about yourself. How your background, you've seen that trajectory. I told them how the degree would basically allow me perform a research I could not do in my undergraduate thesis. And the second page of my research basically tells them that, oh, this is what I want to do later on. And this is how I would want to do it. So what you personally add to the course and not just what you gain. Maybe I would share the second part of my CV with this, and your confidence. So don't apologize for your own record. State it plainly, be bold. Why this program, not why Europe? Don't tell them you want to come to Europe because Nigeria is bad. They don't care about that. They want to see the benefits you want to get from your program. And this is why I tell people, which is very important. Don't go to scholarship applications with the mind of jackpotting alone. It will basically frustrate you because you're going to spend 2 years or whatever in your program. So you should basically do it with the fact that you are going to go there to learn skills basically for your program. And that's it. So don't be humble, be loud. Don't start saying I was fortunate to graduate with a first class result and I had the chance to take part in a few activities compared to this. So basically it lets you know that you're specific, you're confident, and you're true. Then also the last part is always recommenders. Also pick recommenders who will be loud for you too. And this is where a lot of people make mistake. They think by picking a professor or whatever as your recommender is what really counts. To be honest, it doesn't. What really counts is someone that can supervise your work, like your project supervisors, your course advisors, your internship supervisors, not just some, maybe lecturers too that basically taught you in class. So those are the kind of people that actually speak to your work. Someone who supervised you directly, who can cite a specific project that you did, and someone who replies before the deadline. This is important. Some professors would reply very late, but this allows you not. So the number one rule in scholarship application, never undersell yourself. If it's true and it's yours, say it plainly. The committee can reward what you don't put on the page. Is what you tell them to don't. And I think I used to fall into this trap. I'll be like, I don't want to tell them I have a CGPA. Whatever it is you don't tell them, they won't know how big your achievement is, except you contextualize it. And they won't know how huge your work is. Some of you did research projects under constrained conditions. You have to work across 3 different cities, all of those things. You have to put it in a way that shows that you're actually resilient to actually do all of those things. So the committee can reward what you don't put on the page. And now go and write your case. Thank you very much. Let's see. Oh, Jesus, help me. Yeah, can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Hello. Hello. Samuel, we are here with you. I think your screen went off. So
Yeah,
most probably can you resolve that in a few minutes? We can wait.
Okay, yeah, so that's it. Now go and write your case. Can you all see it?
Yes, it's back now. We can see your screen. Now,
Okay.
yeah. Thank
So,
you.
you're welcome. So I think now it's time for questions and answers so that I don't overbore all of you. And maybe I should just show the second part of my SOP so that we get better for what I was trying to contextualize. And do I still have enough time, or is that good?
Yeah, you still have time. You still have time actually. You can go on. And I think when I was starting this session, I mentioned that we are going to take question and answers after all the speakers are done. But let us have question and answer after this. Yeah, after this. So we have extra. Okay, somebody is asking if we can get the slides. I don't know if that will be possible, Scholar, but you can go on in the next 8 minutes thereabouts.
Okay, I will share the slides with you, Abiola. That way it's better. Okay.
All right.
So,
thank you very much.
You're welcome. So let me just share this other side. But one thing is also very important. Plagiarism is a huge problem in science. So whatever I'm sharing with you is basically just for you to see and get an understanding of how programs work and how to write your your applications. So it's not just for you to now replicate whatever, but it's to let you show or tell your own story instead. So let me quickly share this final part, and then I call it then we could basically go for the Q&A. So yeah, so this is the other parts of the SOP, which I said. So basically, after telling them that, oh, I wanted for my supervisor for my thesis, I could not do it, but I did the one I could. Then I presented my findings at a conference and this. Then now told them that apart from just SCD, because I realized one thing, they didn't have a lot of professors, they didn't have any professors on sickle cell research. So now imagine me coming and telling them that don't, I must, by compulsorily, sorry, the Nigerian aspect, I must do sickle cell research. I had to tell them that no, I'm more fascinated by the multidisciplinary applications of membrane biology and how I did a final year. To be honest, that's why I said it's always very important to find programs that fit your background. For me, I'd always been fascinated with young channels. I read a research paper in year 3, and since then it has always got to me. That's why even I had to present a seminar on this. So that's why I said always find something you are basically interested in, or even though you are not interested in, you would have to find a research that links directly with your undergraduate degree and your thesis, most likely. That's why it's always important to choose whoever it is you do your project with, because their foundation is actually what guides you. So I had to tell them I did a final year seminar where I explained how bioelectrical signaling across cell membrane influences morphology and how the MemBioMed program would present an opportunity to gain multidisciplinary training through crosswater at university, Codazol, and all of those things within its industrial network to excel in modern bio. And also, if you are applying for Erasmus and I don't see a line similar to this in your application, this part, I don't know what else, because it's the one major thing Erasmus would always shout on, and is that the compulsory mobility will allow you to experience European culture firsthand through their art, architecture, and cuisine, which is food, while also full-stream multilingual proficiency in French, Italian, and German. All of me would prepare me for a career in the global scientific community. This part, you could always rewrite it in whatever words, because that's technically the whole essence of Erasmus Mundus, allowing you to experience the European culture, and would allow you basically build you to a perfect individual. Then I also now began to mention my other research experiences that I had, which was in computational biology. Now, if you are basically in biology, bio is always like the best place to get research experiences, to be very honest, because it's especially computational skills. Their certificates basically allows you to do all of these things. And so yeah, then I ended with, and this is something, another part I would always say people make is they start begging for scholarships, but rather show them, instead of begging, always try to show them that you deserve the scholarship. So I basically told them, you can always complain. I said, Nigeria's economic challenges and my humble background, self-funding this program is unfeasible. But my academic success has been made possible through scholarship and grants. Some of you won scholarships while you were in school. Some of you, it was your uncles that basically sponsor it. And also through my appointment, and I hope to secure to join the Erasmus Mundus, blah, 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 blah. Then after that, I plan to pursue a PhD. Afterwards, I'll transition into this. So basically, that's all about most things about the Erasmus Mundus. I'm sure that any other presenter would always have something important to say, to be very honest. So thank you very much for having me, and have a great day.
Thank you so much, Scholar Samuel Badekale. We appreciate you so much for this. This is one of, if you're on this call, you're in the right place. Let us give him a round of applause. Let's appreciate him for his insights, his wisdom, and interestingly. So now, please, I want us to pay attention to everything he has said. Everything he has said is of high importance. And also, I know we want to rush to questions. Let us calm down. I know we are raising our hands. We want to ask questions. Scholar Samuel, would you like to take your questions now?
Anyone works for me. It depends on the other speakers too. I would
Okay.
prefer to have all of us answer the questions together, because that way we don't have repetitions across knowledge.
I love that. I love that. Thank you very much. So we are going exactly as you said. So right now, moving on, we are moving on to the next speaker. Our next speaker, his name, I'm going to read the bio of the next speaker right now. And after them, when we are through with when I finish reading the bio of the next speaker, let us get ready to appreciate him. Okay. A minute. All right, beautiful. Our next speaker, his name is no one else other than Oluwafemi Olusesan. He is an Erasmus Mundus scholar pursuing a master's in functional advanced materials engineering with AI for sustainability, with much interest in the battery industry and sustainable energy technologies. It brings forth technical expertise and a forward-looking perspective to his field. Let us give a round of applause, sounding applause to Scholar Oluwafemi. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, sir. We appreciate your presence on this call. If you don't know Scholar Femi, see, I just saw his face and I'm laughing. If you don't know Scholar Femi, you need to know him today. Don't worry. You know him today. You're welcome, sir. You're with the mic now. Thank you very much.
All right. So, sorry, I'm going to present to screen. It turned out to be a disastrous moment right now, but so firstly, I would like to thank the organizers for today's meeting. Please let me know if I'm echoing because I'm using two screens at the moment. So it's been I would like to thank Tribes Mind or Mind Tribes, yeah, for this opportunity, and also thank Kunle, Joshua, and every other organizers for today's meeting. And I've been playing so far, listening to Scholar Badekale presentation, and I was like, what do I need to come and say? My scholar has said everything. He has said everything in general. A 5.5, a 5.0 scholar. What else do I need to come and say? All I just need to do is just pay attention and we close for the day. But yeah, I'll still need to give honor to whom honor is due to and play my part in today's webinar and see what we can all learn in today's webinar. I can see someone bearing my name as well, Olusesan. So yeah, nice meeting you all. So to cut the long story short, so yeah, today my name is Olusesan Oluwafemi. I'm currently a FAMEAIS awardee for the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship Program. And as you've heard so far, you've seen the catalog, you've seen everything. So right now, I will be starting with the initial process. I'll be starting, like, I'm not here to come show you a slide or presentation. My seniors have done that. Samuel Badekale has done justice to that. So yeah, I'm just here to give a talk, one-on-one conversation. Let's see how things go and the likes and the likes and the likes. So yeah, so number one thing is come to reality. Why are you here in the first place? That's what you should be asking yourself. Are you here to prove a point to people who have said that, oh, you can't make it, or this and that and that? Are you here to show to people that, oh, by next year I'll be getting my years and I will show to the world that I've arrived, I've done this and that and that? The reason you are here really matters. If you are here with the motive of showing that I have arrived, I think, Samuel Badekale said it. Let me just use Samuel pure. Samuel said this, like, the reason you are applying really matters. Please. You don't just want to apply because you want to jackpot. You don't just want to apply because you want to show to people that, oh, I have arrived, this and that and that. Me have done day UK, me have done day Canada, this and that and that. You don't want to do that. So this is 10:04. By 10:24, I should be done. So now, what do you need to do? I used to say it initially. If you have not slept, the 3 sleep men used to sleep. You put it in Yoruba, you understand. Then, and you come to a decision-making stage. Then you are still playing. Or probably you are here because you want to follow the trend or do as your colleagues have been doing so far. Let me do this, let me do that, and the likes and the likes. Let me just do what my friends are doing. Please, you are wrong. You have to actually sit down and ask yourself, why am I here? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And one reason I can give to you is do what you do because you want a better future for yourself. Do what you want to do because you want a better and standard education for your upcoming generation coming out from you. You are not doing this to prove a point to anyone. You are doing it for yourself. You are doing it for the next generation coming from you. You want them to look at you one day and say, oh, Mommy Destiny, thank you for going through the stress you went through. Mommy Ungu, Daddy Ungu, thank you for going through the stress you went through. If not for you, I won't be having this better education I'm having now. If not for you, I won't be in so I won't be in many countries. If not for you going through this pain and rigorous rejection, I won't be having this better education. So that's why I say initially, know the reason you are here. You are not here to prove point to anyone. You won't know any explanation. Now, let me now come to the real talk of the day, which is how is everything being structured and the likes about the Erasmus Mundus scholarship. So for instance, I'm the opposite of Scholar Samuel. I didn't graduate as the best graduating student. I never had a publication. I never had a leadership experience and the likes and the likes. I was just a bookworm, and that was the biggest mistake in my life during my academic. I was so blindfolded with the Yoruba movie that says that if you are popular in the university, cultists will come and meet you, this and that. So I was this low-key scholar that you just want to see that you will not even say your CGPA out. You're just like, So I was that kind of student that I did not want people to know me at all. I don't want lecturers to know me because if they know me finish, they will collect my matric number, then they'll give it to the best student, a student that is this and that. That's a story for another day. So I was so just a bookwormer as always. No, nothing to talk of. But before finishing, I had to ask myself, tell me, what do you want for yourself? I did an internship in the plastic industry because my background is materials and metallurgical engineering. Sorry, I didn't say that earlier. I saw the way the industry is. I remember one of the co-workers I was working with, and he was like, Femi, I'm to retire. Sorry, I'm just so like this. I'm going to retire, so and my pension is 4 million naira, this and that and that. And I was like, this time I'm like, Jesus Christ. So let's have, okay, I graduate, I studied at the likes, finished. But what I'll be sitting on after the whole stress, how the 8 to 5 and the likes and the likes. Then I spoke to myself, this is not the life you want. I knew the type of education I've gotten. I will not come to tell you that, oh, I have this social experience and this and that. No, I never had those standard experience and the like. So the question is, if I'm graduating with a first class, yes, I graduated with a first class, which particular position are they taking me to? Are they going to take me to the position I really want to, or just the normal, okay, graduate training, you start doing all this? That's myself. And I said, okay, the next thing for me to do is just what? Go for the best opportunity where I can get more and better experience and knowledge. The rest is story. I won't go too deep into that. So I started with the normal process of US scholarship, and then I never knew what I wanted. I was just going through the trend, and I encountered this eminent group scholarship webinar. They spoke about Erasmus Mundus. And the first question I had during that day was, how many Erasmus Mundus scholarship can I apply for? And they said, as many as you like. And I said, that's the biggest mistake Erasmus did for someone like me. And that is where I'm starting with. Yes, scholars, somewhere have said that you can do the filter and the likes and the likes. I am coming to as not, I'm not saying everything he has said is wrong. Everything is actually right. I am coming in as, for people that know the crypto world, I am coming in as a Web3 guy. I am coming in as a virtual assistant, someone who is in the what do I call it? The remote work stage whereby you're applying to job on Upwork and the likes. I am coming in as a pure hustling guy who is coming in as someone that, okay, I'm a competitor. And if you're in the crypto world, I am coming in as a Ponzi guy as well. I know the way we do things. We do something multiple. So the idea about life for me is that I am playing a game. And if I'm playing a game, I have to be strategic about the way I handle things. For those that are in the crypto world, you will remember, if you are into NFT or maybe crypto and the likes, you will know you don't work with one account, you work with multiple accounts. And I will balance it with what Samuel has said earlier. So Samuel's strategy is always quality over quantity, which is the best. Me, myself, is quantity over quality, only if you have the strength to go for the quantity. You can see the condition. You don't just go for quantity because you want to go for quantity. You only go for quantity if you will be putting in the same energy you are putting in the initial one. Meaning you are not just applying with a mediocre mind. You are not just applying and let me apply, sir. So in short, it is still same with what Samuel has said. Quality over quantity. My own perspective is I go for quantity because I can go with the same energy I am going with earlier. I am not going to be applying as applying sharp. The same way if you are submitting an address, you don't submit address as address sharp, you submit with the energy. So if you are submitting with that right energy, it's fine. So I'm not saying quality over quantity is bad, quantity over quality is bad. No, just know what you want. So now that takes me to the next thing. What are the things I need in my for this Erasmus Mundus application? I don't have anything to show for. First thing is the Erasmus Mundus catalog. I went through it. I did not use filter. Crypto guy has come again. I entered the catalog. Then we have 184 or so. I went through everything. That's why I said that it's nothing. 194 is different from 4,000 applications professors will be sending in US. That's why for the US type of application, you know what we do? You have to be so bent on your research interest. But for Erasmus Mundus catalog, it's just 184. What did I do? I checked through all the catalog. I selected 13 programs out. Now, the next thing is, how do I clear my conscience? How do I make sure I'm not applying to the whole 13 program? Number one, IELTS compulsory. I find, oh, IELTS is really compulsory in this particular program. I remove it out. I don't have the money to apply for it. But anyone that is accepting me taking the program as applying for the program with my English proficiency certificate, got it from the university, applying for it. The next thing, how do you not draft writing my exceptional CV, like one of the conditions I'm to come present here. Writing an exceptional CV is not, I can't tell you, oh, this is the best CV you should do. This is the best CV you should use this and that and that and that. No. Every CV you draft is exceptional, only if you draft it in the right way the program is asking you to put it in. So for Erasmus Mundus, number one thing is use the Eurospace templates, the Eurospace template. And you using the Eurospace template, meaning that you just sign into the website, just type Eurospace CV, you sign in, you log in. After logging in, you put in all your information. But because we are drafting an exceptional CV, you have to take another work. I'm starting one of the conditions I'm meant to speak about here. After drafting your CV with the Eurospace with the login website and the likes, it gives you in form of a PDF. You don't stop there. You take your time. I remember then after drafting, I sent 8-page CV to one of my mentors. I'll mention his name. And he said, hey, TK, did you read the program? Do you know how many you'll be applying for? Like, do you know what the program is asking you to do? Just 2-page CV or 3-page CV. And you are sending in it He said I should go and work on it. Okay, I reduced. I came back to 3. He said, fine. Then I sent it back to him for the PDF. He said, Femi, go and convert this back to Word. Then start adjusting some things. You can see the way the links are long and the like. I said, try that too. But it's scattering the CV. He said, yes. He said something that shook me. He said, are you rushing? I said, no. He said, if I'm not rushing, then take your time. I remember that day. It was a Friday. I sat down my CV from morning to evening, restructuring the entire CV. Like I converted it to Word. Automatically, everything scattered. So I started restructuring it based on what I feel is more presentable. And how do you know what is presentable? There are a lot of CVs out there. Take A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Look at the structures that well define you, how you just see the one that is the best fitting for you. Take it. Look at the way they design it. Implement it with yours. Take the time. See, there's no rush. You don't need to rush over anything at all. Okay, what I did exceptionally again is like someone have said it, adding certifications. So I knew I didn't have any publication at all. What did I do? Then I didn't really use ChatGPT. What I needed to do was I went through the program. So after filtering, like after taking 13, I ended up having 9 program. I'll tell you the story about the 9 as we move on. The 9 program, I looked at program 1. Everything you need for your application is inside the program website. What is the goal of this program? What is the aim? What problem are they trying to solve? What are the curriculums for these programs? These are what I did. I checked it out. Then I went to Coursera, as Samuel has said. I started typing course on this and that and that. Then I say it, I apply for it. Now I'm giving you a free bonus. Coursera currently, if you are using the mobile app to apply for financial aid, you can apply at 10 at most per month. And if you use the mobile app, maybe downloaded through Google Play or Play Store, you get 100% free. But if you apply through the browser, you get 90%. It's still currently ongoing, so you can still do it. So what I did was, for every program I was applying to, I made sure I target most of their curriculums. The courses I'm putting there are what they need in their curriculum. So I take it and put it there. I won't tell you how I went about the course because this is an official meeting, and like, so I'll make sure it's official. So George, I hopefully will know the way it is. So I went about it is smart work, not hard work sometimes. Just take that, smart work, not hard work. So I went about that, and for every of my CV, I put in certifications based on the program curriculum. From that on, after doing that, now let me give you another cheat. Now life has been made busy. Just copy the program website and everything. Copy their curriculum, download their curriculum, put it on any AI tool I'm mentioning for too. Tell it to recommend courses you can take on Coursera related to the program you're applying for. Then, so that way you are not thinking again, stressing yourself. Then you apply for the course, financial aid course, take it, do your courses, put there. Definitely. So after that, the next thing I did is that I needed publication. Then I attended a webinar that says that even your, whatever they call it, your master project, undergrad thesis is also a publication. Just restructure it to fit into your publication and the likes. And that's how I have it in for my publication section. Awards, I won't tell you how I got awards. Then the next one, volunteering activities. Very important. One thing I will tell you is, the moment most of you say, most of the time when you're in a group and they are saying we need active members and the likes, you think activeness means that you must be typing in the group always. No. When we say active members, we want people who are conscious of what they are. You are applying for a graduate program. Let your everyday chat, let whatever you are seeing every day, let it be the program, whatever the scholarship you are pursuing. Then when I was in the crypto world, people that know me in crypto know me well. People know me as Unique. People know me as Emmy, different names. If you are looking for me, don't look for me anywhere. You see me in the crypto world. You see me dropping updates. But then when I switch to the freelancing life as well, I drop crypto world. If you are looking for me, just go to the freelancing side. You see me there. So now I needed scholarship. I left those words I came to the scholarship, but if you are looking for me, you will find me in that world. You will definitely find me in the world of scholarship because that is what I'm pursuing. So be conscious of it. So because of you being conscious of it, you don't know when you'll be discussing with someone and asking the person, I'm looking for in what they call volunteering activities. Someone who is not even interested in the whatever they call it. We don't like, I saw this stuff somewhere. Are you interested? Yes, that was how I got in touch. I got volunteering activities like Salty Vibe, What Clean Up Day. Then I was speaking dirty and the likes. I remember my mate was like, where are you going one day? I said, don't worry, I know what I'm looking for. So after volunteering activities. Now let's move to the letter of motivation. This is very important. So that is how you structure your CV. The rest you can always see. Now, letter of motivation, I don't want to bore you much. Samuel has shown you everything. One thing I will need to say, there are 3 types of letter of motivation. Samuel said the number 1. I used it as well. So I'll be sharing my screen to show you what I did. So most of the program I applied for green nanotechnology, I applied for Eminent, I applied for Mama Self, I applied for FAMEAIS, I applied for FAMEAIS, I applied for what is this? CNE. I was about applying for CNE. I applied for can't remember, but in total I applied for 8, almost applying for the 9th one before the years came in. So now, how do I structure the letter of motivation? Let me first say the 3 types of letter of motivation we have. We have the statement of fact method, we have the storyline method, and we have the combined method. Someone showed you the storyline method. And one thing about telling stories, you don't tell a fake story. You don't come up with you don't go to ChatGPT and say, oh, please grab them, I'm applying to so and so. Help me come up with this and that and that. No, you have to sit down, take your time. The question you might ask me is that how do I come up with different how did I come up with different letter of motivation for all? It is just you meditating. You just meditating and meditating. So when I was about to apply for green nano, sometimes I'll just be on my bed and just lie down like green nanotechnology. See, you don't have to be officially seated on your laptop and this typing before motivation starts coming. Also, you can be in the toilet when the stuff is holding you well, and you are thinking of it, and that's when idea will be coming. So sometimes I'll just lie down and say, I'm going to say Yoruba, woman, apply for so and so. What can I use? I remember that one of my colleagues, I was like, and I'm applying to this. So what if the moment you hear the word, what if I say, start typing it anywhere you are on your phone. What if I say something or this? So that was where idea came. And this is, oh shit, sorry, to take time. But, okay, I think this is it. Okay, yeah, this. So whatever I'm showing now, it's the rough version, my initial rough version of whatever my SOP is for all the programs. So the first one you are saying here is, don't mind me, I started with the growing up method, the tactics. I use storyline method as well. So the first one was this. Growing up, I never realized I was practicing materials improvement recycling. This story came from Shagolo, if you know all these things. So then I remember I used to pack tantas and the likes about to sell to all this bola. So I was like, that idea came out like, I could twist this to fit like a story for my interest in masters and Mama Self. So this is the story. Growing up, I never realized I was practicing materials improvement as a child. I would source metallic objects. You can see from Shagolo, see how I'm using sweet word to put in. I would source metallic objects around my neighborhood and sell them to recyclers. It is not recycler, it's bola. Looking back, I now understand that this earlier experience sparked my interest in material science and engineering. I began to wonder about the significance of materials and their impact on the world. And this curiosity on why some are more expensive than the other. Remember, bola, this is not aluminium, this is not copper. Copper is expensive than aluminium. That's the idea. So you see, this is my story, not anyone's story. Why place more emphasis on certain materials and less importance on others? This led to me to pursue a degree in material science. The story continues. This is Mama Self. Now let's go to the next one. Eminent. So this eminent story is coming from normally it is mechanical engineering. I was thinking about the program embedded intelligence nanosystem and the like. So I was thinking, how can I make this work? My interest normally was in mechanical engineering, but I needed to twist a story to make it fit into this program. Then I remember them, my mom was like, mechanical engineering. It was actually not mechanical, it was electrical engineering. Why did I not go for electrical engineering? You know, as a small child, then you'll be connecting wire, you make torchlight, you say, engineer, no, my jet, stuff like that. And then at the end of the line, I went for mechanical, and from mechanical, they gave me material metallurgy. Then my mom was like, electrical engineering, this and that and that. So I twisted the story from electrical to, instead of mechanical, I changed it to material science, and that's where the story came in. My mother once asked me, Femi, why material science and not electrical electronics? You enjoy repairing electrical appliances like fans, extension, radios, and the like. While excelled in repairing electronics, a question touched on the deeper interest that draws me, an enduring curiosity about how technology transitioned from bulky transistor to integrated circuit and how material shaped the evolution. Intrigued by the rapid pace of technological advancement, I was captivated by the transition from Stone Age to, you can see how I'm twisting it from electrical to material science. So that is the way it didn't come like this, it come as a raw story from my background. Then from there, let me just quickly switch to FAMEAIS. So FAMEAIS was a childhood story as well. I have 24 minutes. I am exceeding, but I'll make sure I rush. For FAMEAIS, the question was, this is not what I submitted actually, but these are the story. I was like, okay, FAMEAIS is functional advanced materials with artificial intelligence for sustainability. Then I was asking myself, what should I do? What should I do? Then what came to my head is Kosong Tutulabion, there's nothing new under the sun. Since the program is advanced materials engineering, there's nothing new under the sun. How can I okay, I think they can say it. How can I make sure that since there's nothing new on the sun, how can I make this? How can I tailor this to the program they are saying?
Scholar,
Advanced materials engineering. Advanced materials engineering. That was what I was thinking of, and that's how it came in from an earlier age. And then I used to tell my friend Emmanuel that I will invent something. So right now, it's not a matter of inventing anymore. It is you advancing the already existing concept. We've seen a lot of cars from gasoline cars, and now we're having electric vehicles and the likes. So the question is not you building, inventing new things. It is you advancing already existing concept. So that was just the story that came to my head. You can see the story. And let me give you one funny one again. Amil, okay, this is recycling. I think I still use the one of Mama Self to eat. But the funny one I want to show you is Amase. Let me see Amase. Let me see. CNE. Okay, but Amase is not here. But for IMEX, I think it's IMEX. What I did was, if you know green nano, no, is it? I can't remember which one talks about glass fiber. FRP, yes, FRP. So for FRP, I remember that if you break lantern glass at home when you are small, with the rogue, you are in trouble. You know that you are in trouble. So what do? I looked at it and said, can't we find a way we can make glass in form of a more reinforced, transparent material? That was a question that came to my head, and that's the story. So that's a storyline method. You sitting down, think about the program, look at how you can make sure the program, whatever story you are telling, fit into the program, the rest, the body, and everything somewhere should. So the statement of fact, let's not assume you don't have any story to tell. I know I've exceeded my times. Joshua, can I still proceed, or I would rush the rest to make sure I put in? Can I still proceed?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to, Scholar Femi, I wanted
Okay.
to confirm if others can see your screen, because
Okay.
somebody mentioned that they cannot see your screen. So I don't know if you can put it off and on again for them.
I think they are thumbs.
So we can see your screen,
up. Yeah, they can. Yeah. So, okay, thank you. I'll be on the rush
Okay.
now. So that's the storyline method. I use storyline method
Thank you.
in my time, and I think Samuel did the same, which I give a thumbs up. I'm happy. I can see my. By the way, I look up to Samuel. If you don't know, like it's not easy getting a 5.0 or 5.0, so I'm still learning on that. So yeah, back to what I was saying. So for the statement of fact, let's not assume you don't have any story to say. Whenever you're saying story, let me go back to the storyline method. Whenever you're saying story, please say a story that are real, story that can connect to the program. You're not just saying, you can see every story I've been telling are tied to the program goal and objective. I am not just stating anyhow story. It has to be tied to the program objective, the program goal, the problem they are trying to solve. You don't say, okay, you're applying to like somewhere program, MemBioMed. I think it's MemBioMed, because I know Momofim and the likes as well. Okay, so you don't say you want to apply to FAMEAIS and you're talking about green nanotechnology story that, oh, you love nanomaterials and like, they are quite different things. So for the statement of fact method, statement of fact is when you don't have any story to tell. So what do you do instead? You look at facts. What is the problem Nigeria is currently facing? What solution have you been, what is the current solution? How can you, what have you done? So here we use what we call the STAR method: situation, task, action, and what? Record. Is it record? are situation, task, action, and result. Yeah, result. So use the STAR method approach. But that's how you work with statement of fact method. The STAR approach: situation, task, action, and result. So you look at the problem Nigeria is facing or your country is facing. What are the facts? Because you have to say according to so and so. This is so and so and the like. So you using that according to, you are tying it to a particular fact that has been stated so far. Now, what is the final one? The combined method. The combined method is you bridge the gap between story and storyline method and statement of fact. For instance, let me use someone I used to use this yellow fever. Let us assume that your enemy sister died due to yellow fever. Because of that pain, your interest drove to how to solve the problem related to yellow fever and the likes and the likes. And from record in the past, look at what I'm saying. From record in the past, I'm trying to combine it to fact. It has been stated that Nigeria has suffered so and so. These are the push to you in pursuing this program. You can see what I did: story, statement of fact, combined together, letter of motivation. So now most people will be like, oh, what is the difference between letter of motivation and statement of purpose and personal statement and the likes? They are almost the same thing. It's just like you saying rice, jollof rice, fried rice. They are all the same. The source is what? Rice. The structures are always almost the same thing. But personal statement, now you have to make it more personal to you, your personal life. But it's still almost the same structure. It's still like them asking you, what's your motivation? Statement of purpose is almost the same. It's just a statement like a write-up. Why? Letter of motivation, just twist the structure. Letter of motivation, from what you hear, letter, you can see what Samuel did. He wrote, dear selection committee. Dear selection committee. But for statement of purpose, I will not come with dear selection committee. There are two different things. So those are the things you have to pay attention. It's just structure. It's just the ingredients you put in jollof rice that is different from the ingredients you put in fried rice. And another thing finally is that you need to what? Pay attention to whatever the program has stated you to put in. Now there's another cheat I will tell you to do. Permit me to do that. So the cheat is, if they tell you one page, you can increase the border width on Word. Just increase it so that it's easy to write what you want to write. If you want to, so that if they say 2 page, so your statement of position is not maximum of 2 page. But if that's if they don't give them instruction. But if they gave instruction at 1 page and you still want to say some little thing, just increase the width a bit, left, right. I mean margin, sorry, I said width, margin, left, right, increase it, then that. So now, how do you tailor your program? Your recommendation letter. So recommendation letter is straightforward. Number one thing I will tell you about recommendation letter is always notify your supervisors or whoever he or she is that will be recommending you. So what did I do? After I identified that, okay, I'm going to be applying for 8, do you know what I need to do? I went to meet my supervisors. Sir, before I've been applying, I don't know what I want to do. Now that I know what I want to do, I'll be applying for at least 8 Erasmus Mundus program. What am I trying to do? I'm like trying to let them know now that if you are seeing request of recommendation from me, don't be scared. At least if you see 8, that I'm preparing their mind down that okay, they'll be seeing at least 8. So to batting do 8, then what? I'm not giving them the freedom to come out. Like I tell me think. So I went to meet them. I said, sir, this is what I want to do. This is the based on my calculation, I'll be applying to at least 8. So I'm letting them know down that this is what I want to apply for. Thankfully, the Erasmus did not pass 8, so they're about to enter 9. So let them know. Some might request that they draft it themselves and send. Some give you the freedom to tamper with it. You can check template on how to draft recommendation letter and the likes and the likes. Now, what are the common mistakes most applicants make for the Erasmus Mundus catalog? Number one, you filter a lot. You might be filtering your yes, you don't know. There are some programs that you are eligible for and you might have filtered. Number two, don't apply with a mediocre mindset. Let me just apply sharp. Please, no. Because I said quantity over quality do not mean you should apply sharp. Never. The same energy you are putting in application A is the same energy you should put in application B. If you cannot do more than one, please stick with quality. Do that one. But you now do a mediocre application because someone has said that you applied for 8, you want to apply for 8 and just submit any application. No, please don't do that. And My application experience, how do I position my engineering background? You can see I've done that with my stories on my letter of motivation and the likes, twisting your story, making it look real and the likes and the likes. So for every program, what I did was I applied and made sure that each and every program have different, I had different CV for each and every program. Green Arrow requested for 2-page. The rest requested for 3-page, 3-page. And another thing about if the programs are requesting for 2-minute video and likes, please do it, and don't do it with just a bare background. If you are good in editing, edit well. If the program says no editing, don't edit. But if the program says free to tamper with your videos and the like, please take your time, do it properly. So what are the experience so far I have gained during my application season and the likes and the likes? I would start with one, the one I used to say always, which is what? You will receive breakfast as always. For people, as you are getting your breakfast, be preparing your lunch. And while you are preparing your lunch, be expecting the dinner. The dinner is your yes. Let me explain it in short for you. Your breakfast is the rejections you are getting as you are applying. You are getting rejections and the likes. But you are not stopping there. You keep on applying. Your applying stage should not stop. That applying stage is this lunch you'll be eating soon. The lunch is what you are eating. That's your afternoon food. Keep on applying, because finally you'll be getting the dinner. The dinner is the yes. When you finally say that, oh, yeah, my food has arrived. Congratulations, you've been selected. I applied to about 8 Erasmus Mundus. I applied to 8. I was applying to the 9th one. I got rejected in all. And I remember what one of my scholars was saying. He said, the first time when I told him I want to apply for about 8, he said, "Femi, you need strength. Do you have the strength to apply for it?" I said, they should not worry. Then after that, when during the application process, he was now like telling me that, "Femi, who apply later, ma worry, come back, click." That means don't worry, one week click, enter number 6 rejection. Ha. One week click. Said, don't worry, one week click. That's what he's always saying. Don't worry. And finally, do you know what it is? One click. Then some programs, some Erasmus Mundus program, you need to do the interview stage. I did the interview. The interview stage, I won't say much on interview stage. You get the yes to be invited to the interview stage, and we cannot talk more on the interview stage. But for me, I got into the interview stage, I did interview and finally got the yes and the likes. So experience in total, one thing I always say is love attraction. What I did then, anytime how I survived the rejections and the likes is that anytime I get the rejection, you know what I will do? I just go to the program catalog, any program catalog. Then the one I love most was Green and Technology. And what I used to do then is when I look, I'll just zoom in, I'll look at the pictures of the alumni there, and I'll be like, Femi Ojopo, you know what? Your picture now in Oyinbo. Meaning that one day you will snap picture with Oyinbo. I never knew the book exists. That's love attraction. You can go read it online. And online with love attraction. The more you see, the more you see, the closer your reality comes to. So I was always just looking at it and just like, one day you think it's not picture of Oyinbo. You think we have one program Pluto. And you know the funny thing about all these things? This boy later would have Pluto. If you later snap picture with Oyinbo, reality comes true just by you not looking. Seeing far. Yes, it might not look like it now. Yes, it might look like the rejections and all is coming and don't give up. Keep pushing in Jesus' name. No wahala. Thank you.
In Jesus' name, no. There's this particular phrase that Scholar Femi used to use every day. After I finish speaking, gives us everything we want. We wrap up with in Jesus' name, no. Because truly,
I think I need to put this very important. Yes. In Jesus' name, no. Trust God in all the process. He is the one that can help you. He's the one that can direct you. Don't put him aside. Always trust him. He will guide you. It will look like as if it will not. This is not my place, so I'm not the background picture. I believe you know that. But either way, trust him, trust the process. And whether you're a Muslim, you are a Christian, you are a traditionalist, just trust your God. Trust him to direct you. And I believe one day you will be testifying. And one thing I've heard so far from every award, the new recent awardees, that I asked them, how is the journey so far? They said they don't even see it as if they applied, and that is how it will be for you too. You won't see it as if you went through any application season when the years come. So I wish you guys the best. If you have any question, I'm open to answer. And
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
organizers. I appreciate this. privilege
most
and the
welcome.
state.
Thank you so much. Let us give a round of applause to scholar Oluwafemi Olusesan. He gave us a very, 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 very interesting, engaging session. Thank you so much. We are grateful. It seems like all the scholars today are bearing Samuel. We have Samuel Badekale, we have Samuel Oluwafemi, and our third scholar is also bearing Samuel. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited right now. In Jesus' name, no while. So now, without further ado, I know we have questions. Just tone it down. We are going to be taking questions after our third speaker has completed the session. And please, stay through the end of this call. I beg you, because I'm not going to say more than that. But really, stay through the end of this call. So if you have your questions, you can type them right now and just keep them in your notes. Then when it's time, you can also send it in the chat box, because if you send it now, I may not be able to go through hundreds of questions. So I'll just select questions as at when it is time for question and answer. Thank you very much. So right now, we are going to the next speaker. Let me read the bio of our third scholar. 4 minutes. Our third scholar is no one other than our namesake of our scholars, our past scholars, Samuel. Hey, I may not be able to pronounce his surname properly. Okay, please, Yoruba speakers, please. Ignore my name, ignore everything about me. I'm just a boy. Okay, Samuel Olusunde is an electrical and electronics engineering graduate of the Federal University of Technology, MENA, and an Erasmus Mundus Joint Master scholar in smart cities and communities, studying across Spain, Belgium, and Finland. His academic and professional interests include renewable energy, smart grids, mobility, and sustainable urban development. Let us give Scholar Samuel a round of applause as he steps on the podium. Thank you so much for being here with us, Scholar Samuel. We appreciate you. We did not take this for granted. You have the mic, sir.
Good evening, Ayokunle. If you don't mind, I would prefer to keep my camera switched off, please.
Yes, no problem. No problem,
Okay.
Scholar.
Yeah, I want to appreciate Mind Tribe Africa for inviting me to this event.
Oh.
And I also want to appreciate Samuel and Femi, who has also spoken before me. To be honest, I don't know how I want to put. I don't know what to say. To be honest, I don't know how I can top what they have said. But I will try my best to, feel maybe some of the. I don't know. Just try to add my own today before we leave. So first of all, as previous speakers have mentioned about knowing the reason while you are applying, I think for me, I would just like try to go through a narrative of my application journey, my scholarship application journey. And to be honest, this started when I was an undergraduate in MENA, and I was part of this group of students who had a strong affinity for applying for undergraduate scholarships. Your Chevrons, your Agbami, what have you. We are there. We are applying. And I think that very early on, this really gave me shall I say, the determination to getting some of these opportunities, because they are out there. Why should I not be able to apply for them if they are out there? What are the requirements that are so difficult that I cannot provide? Is it transcript? Yeah, we'll get the transcript, because really a lot of people, if you hear some of the things that really prevent them from applying, you'll be surprised that transcript. So this was where it all started. And okay, so back then I travel a lot to Abuja from Mina to write a lot of these exams. I traveled to Abuja 3 times, and for scholarships that I didn't even get. And so eventually I did get one, which funny enough, I wrote the exams from my room, which was MTN. So fast forward to 300 level, the opportunities for undergraduate scholarships started to close. If you're familiar with some of these scholarships, you know that they are only mostly open for 100 level and 200 level students. So by 300 level, the opportunities have started to close, and there was really nothing much to put out for. So I then set my sights on postgraduate uh, scholarship, and that was 2020 during the COVID break. I was on LinkedIn and I discovered a webinar just like this where I saw Erasmus Mundus, and I registered for it and I was there. And till today, I can't remember the organizers or the name of the scholars that spoke even, but what I took away from that meeting really shaped the way I looked at the whole scholarship process, and eventually guided my application process. So, of course, the first thing I took away was, of course, to check the catalog, because that was really what each scholar back then said, and that's also what both Samuel and Femi have mentioned today. That's where your Erasmus Mundus application journey begins. It begins from checking the catalog and really extracting the programs that you are interested in. For me, back then, I went through the catalog as well. I did just like Femi. I went through every single page of the catalog. I think by that time there were like 190 programs or so. I can't remember, but I remember I went through every single page, and I extracted 7 different programs. This was back then in 2020, so I wasn't going to apply, and I was in 300 level, so I was going to apply like in 2 years. But as at that time, I already had like 7 programs that I was looking at with the date of the funding, because it was very important, because some of the programs that I was looking at now would not be funded by the time I wanted to apply. So I had like a spreadsheet where I had each of the programs that I already selected, the funding date, and the special requirement. I had a column on special requirement, because some of these programs required like videos, and some of them required like my program SMACCs, for example, required your work certificate, which was like special amongst the programs that I selected. So basically, what this did for me was that it helped me to like be consciously. How do I put this? I was meeting the requirements of each program as I went along the way. As at my 500 level first semester, I think I got my passport. I was not traveling anywhere, but I just got it as because that's like what I need for my scholarship application. And if you are also applying for Erasmus Mundus, you need your passport as well, because that's like the only identification you have as a Nigerian, I think. So I got my passport back then. I was really prepared. My transcript, I got it immediately after I graduated. So really, I was prepared to apply for the scholarship. And then that was 2024. The application cycle of 2024, I applied, and then when the results came out, I of course got the scholarship. So what I'm just trying to say with this brief story is just that it takes like intentional steps to really get to get some of these opportunities. Rarely would you hear an Erasmus or any other scholarship for that matter who will tell you that they just saw the link randomly and just applied. Like most people just they have like really interesting stories. I mean, you've heard Femi's story. Most people have really interesting stories on how they discovered the program, and how they eventually applied. And I think having that determination really makes the whole application process easier, because some programs would ask you for video, for example, and if you don't have that, that mindset already, something as small, yes, small as a video can really, be like an hindrance for you. For me, I already knew that this program that I wanted to apply for, it was Bensis. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that program, required a video. So by the time I was ready to shoot the video, I called one of my friends, Tade. We met at a location, we shot the video, we wrote the script, we shot the video, he edited it, and I submitted it. So like I already had that in mind, and eventually it was very easy for me to move along in the application process. So how do you choose the right program? You go to the catalog and you find programs that are of interest. I would suggest maybe you check each page, because that was what I did. I searched each page, and because some of the names of the programs are really quite obscure, and I don't know, maybe the filtering process might be, I don't know, whichever one works for me. I didn't filter. I went through each page of the catalog. So yeah, and understanding the program requirements. Each program has different requirements. If you're applying for 7 different programs, you won't look at these programs at the same way. Each of them has their different requirements in their motivation letter, or in they have different requirements. So it's important to really see this if you apply for multiple programs, to see each of the programs differently, and because that will help you to that really help your application process. Because if you don't see it, you can't copy the the story from one program to another program, because it doesn't work. Because one thing about Erasmus is it's important to see Erasmus as a program and not like a course. Because for me, for example, I have a background in electrical engineering. Whenever I'm like telling the story in my motivation letter, it's not enough to just say, oh yeah, I have background in electrical engineering. I did, okay, I don't think I mentioned my background. So I have a background in electrical and electronics engineering from Federal University of Technology, Mina, and I had like internship at CCN, and I was also working in solar development before I got the scholarship. So it's not enough for me to just talk purely about my electrical engineering background. You have to really move. You have to really move into you have to tell your background as someone who is fit to be part of the program, because some of these programs are multidisciplinary. My program, for example, the name of my program is Smart Cities and Community. We have electrical engineers, we have civil engineers, we have architects, we have people who studied energy engineering, we have sustainable development, we have computer science. So like definitely you are not just coming here to your motivation letter should be beyond just purely looking at your undergraduate in one dimension. You have to really show it as someone who is worthy to be part of the program. And I think I should also share my screen, maybe to show my my motivation letter. One moment.
Come put that in the side. I'll put my chair there.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, yeah.
Very
So this
clear.
is just So this is like this was the motivation letter that I submitted, and to be honest, it was when Femi was presenting, Scholar Femi was presenting. I was trying to think what type of motivation letter is mine, because to be honest, I didn't really I don't really like think about it as a type of motivation letter. I just like wrote some story about why I think I should be in their program. But essentially, I started by expressing my interest and stating my background in the first paragraph, and the second paragraph my motivation. I also used the growing up motivation. And in the third paragraph, I really went into my professional experience because I didn't have, much research experience. I didn't have any publication. So what I was trying to sell really was my internship, my work in solar development before during the application process. So I was really going into my work experience over here. And finally, very important, and Samuel mentioned this, very important to mention that, about the mobility of Erasmus and where's that? Yeah, while collaborating with a diverse cohort of students and faculty across Europe, because like that really shows that you are very familiar with the structure of the program, and then some thanks and that's all. And when I was talking about different motivation letter for different programs, this is a motivation letter for another program that I applied for, which was Dream, and for this they had a template for the motivation letter, and you can see that it's really like restrictive, 300 to 500 characters. To like basically they're just asking you to fill in the gaps or fill in the box. So each program has like a way they want you to, present your motivation letter, and that's very important when you are going through the program requirements, because it's important to know what is required from each program. So before I stop sharing my screen, let me show my CV as well. Just a basic CV on Europass, about me, my education, my work experience, because that was what I was trying to sell. I was working as a trainee engineer at Postgraduate, and just a list of my task, research assistant. Yeah, and I also added online courses and certification. When Femi, I think I'm talking about Femi too much in my presentation, but when Femi was talking about his own, and he mentioned he went to check the Coursera courses required to, the strategic Coursera courses to take to ahead of his application. I also did that. Like I also went. I applied for the financial aid from Coursera, and I did all of these Coursera courses from 2020 to, of course, the time when I applied. And like I mentioned, my program is Smart Cities and Communities. You can see this conspicuous Smart Cities course at the bottom here as well. So and as well a link to the folder of the certificates. I don't know by how much that is needed, but just a link containing all the Coursera certificates. So sorry. So yeah, so to continue, how do you match your background with the program objectives? So each program has a theme that they are trying to achieve. You studied electrical engineering, but like there is really no Erasmus Mundus Master in electrical engineering. There's none. There's none. Maybe there are some for some other courses, but I think it's rare for you to see masters in a natural discipline like electrical engineering. But each program has a theme, and for my own program for Smart Cities and Communities, it's about smart cities and communities, future cities and communities. And as an electrical engineer, it's important for me to tie my background or present my background as someone interested in solving electrical engineering dynamics in the context of smart cities and communities. And I've stopped sharing now, but in my motivation letter, you can see that I was really going in. I was really going in with the, at the intersection of smart cities and communities. It was not just, presenting pure electrical engineering. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, we can see your screen actually.
So
Samuel.
yeah.
Yes, we are with you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, 100%.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Sorry. So you can see that I really went into, my commitment to sustainable urban development, and I'm really talking about, to leverage knowledge, and upon completing the program, I able to leverage the knowledge and network gain to drive sustainable urban initiatives in Nigeria and beyond. It's really like driving into the theme of the program, not just saying, "Oh, I'm an electrical engineer. I worked in CCN, or I worked at solar development." But like, how does my background really fit into the theme of the program? On the other hand, if you look at this is the name of this program is it's not yet, but Dynamics of Renewable Energy Based Energy Systems, I think. So this is like a pure power system program, and you can see here it's much more about showing my prowess in power system engineering, power system planning, protection. Talking about my engineering mathematics. Okay. This was where I was listing my undergraduate curriculum, and provided with a strong foundation in operation and dynamics of modern energy systems. So this is not smart cities and communities anymore. Now this is like me trying to fit into, dream into the theme of this dream program now. So like when you're writing when you're drafting your motivation letter, you have to know the what theme that the program is trying to solve, and you can only know this by going through the website of the program. And that way you can know this is by following current people that are currently in the program, and that's like another way you can know this actually. Because for me, that was what I did. I followed a lot of people in the program, checked their background, check the type of background they had, and just keep updated with what they are doing as well, so that you get an idea of how you can fit yourself, or how you can shall I say draft your own story to, because essentially they are looking for people who fit their program. They're not looking for, oh, you have like first class or something. They're like, okay, if you have first class, no problem. They're like 200 other people with first class, but who are the people that fit the program? Because some of these programs, like I said, they are multidisciplinary. Like program, for example, we have computer science, we have mechanical engineering, civil engineering, etc. So work experience and projects. So like I mentioned, for me, I didn't have any publication when I was applying. I only had my work experience that I was trying to really sell, and my in my motivation letter. But there was a question that came up during my interview for this SMACCs program, which was, they asked me what is a previous work experience that I have that is related to the SMACCs program, which is like, okay, what work experience do you have that is related to SMACCs? And at that time, we were working on a feasibility studies for a site. We were trying to install like a solar mini grid in Abuja, and it was a feasibility studies. We had just started, and this was what I told them. So what am I trying to say with this? Like, even the work experience you put out, they don't have to be like fully formed work experience, because there's a lot of questions that I get. People feel that it has to be some grand work experience that that is worthy of being presented to the Erasmus body. But like those small things that you have, you have to find a way to package it really and sell it to to the committee, because I mean that's all you have. So yeah. So yeah, I think that's all I have for now. I think a lot of the other speakers have really covered most of it, but that's all I have for now.
Thank you so much, Scholar Samuel. Honestly, that was a lot to learn from. Let us give Scholar Samuel a round of applause. Let us appreciate him. Somebody said, God of Samuel, and I laughed, which is valid actually, because Samuel himself in the Bible said it was just a miracle, and there were several occurrences while he was growing up. So I believe all of us are learning, and we are relearning and unlearning. And like I said, please, everything you've learned today, pay attention to them. Pay very much rapt attention to them. Okay. So right now we have about, well, our time is unlimited. And but I would like us to take our questions. If you have any questions, raise up your hands. Just raise up your hand. I'll call on your name and you can ask your question. Any question, then please let me do this, because I don't want more questions, right? Questions that will bring more questions is normal, but if you know you've had questions from the first speaker, second speaker, third speaker up to now, please just raise up your hand, okay? Right, and then you can go on to have other questions, right? Okay, so right now I'm going to call Destiny. Destiny, you can unmute your mic and ask your question. Destiny Okafo.
Good evening, everyone. Good
Good
evening,
evening.
amazing speakers. So my question is, what advice would you, any of them could answer this. So what advice would you give to someone who is navigating from one field to another? For instance, in my case, I studied biological sciences, but I'm tending towards, or rather I'm searching towards operations management. That's the business side of life, kind of, if I'm going to put it that way. So yeah, I studied microbiology, just to put more emphasis to this. I studied microbiology, but now I want to do operations and strategy management. So how would, like, if you're maybe an admission or maybe a scholarship body, how are you going to see that? And from a student standpoint, how would you, advise that I package the whole thing to make it look as if you're not having scattered interest, something like that?
Okay, that's a very good question. I think Scholar Samuel Badekale and Scholar Femi can answer those questions.
Okay, great question. Sorry, I didn't get the part of she was transitioning from microbiology to what? She said it's the business side, but I didn't get it.
Operations and strategy management.
Operations and strategy management. Well, one thing I would say is there are two ways to these things. And the first one is, to be very honest, it's going to be difficult to transition just like that, especially if you are going from a pure science background into something like that. But there are technically two ways to this. And the first way is build your work experience in the field you are transitioning into. Unlike the normal, most people that are just doing masters or directly from their previous year, they are just continuing from it. Like, it's always better, it's easier for them, but for you, build a whole lot of work experience in the field you're transitioning into. And your story, basically, SOP always tells you this, is how well are you transitioning your story. And that means you are giving reasons why you are transitioning, one, and you are also giving translatable skills that you've gotten. So stories, then the places of certifications, you see that aspect is something you can't even deal with. It's something you must do over and over and over again. So take diplomas, take certifications as much as possible, especially in that field that you are going into. I have friends transitioning from business to software engineering, There's even someone I'm basically guiding currently that is going from a business admin background to software engineering, same thing for this. But the major advice I would tell you is this. First thing, the research experience, the work experience technically in that field that you're transitioning to must be top notch. Two, certifications in that place, in the what you're transitioning must be there. Then three, find the, what's the word? There's this word, a problem fit that can basically allow you transition. So there are two ways this could happen. You could either do a joint MBA. I think John Hopkins has a public health and a master's in business administration that can basically allow you combine those skills. So there are dual master's program like that can basically allow you combine such things. Or if there's none, then find a problem that would allow you effectively tell them, oh, from a science background, you've been able to build this, or due to the fact that you fell in love with this along this social area. Like we said, it's your storytelling basically, and the amount of work experience and all that you could do. So I think I would hand over to Femi right now.
Okay, thank you so much, Scholar Sample. Scholar Femi, you would like
Yeah.
to add to that, sir?
It's nothing I want to add. I said it all. But okay, all I just need to say is there's nothing impossible, and Samuel has actually added everything, like he has stated everything needed to be done. And one thing I just I think he has said it all, but what I can just put to it is that, for instance, you are, like you said, identify a problem that you are hoping to solve or you've solved. For instance, let me just use this. I had an educationist who is planning to go into the tech world. So this for this particular person, what I had to tell the person to do is, okay, you are in the tech world, you are in the whatever it is, build a project, make video of this project. Just one thing is just be intentional about the area you're about to go to. Erasmus Mundus, has been said earlier, is just an interdisciplinary program. What they are looking for is, are you befitting for this particular program? Your background might not say so, but things you've done says otherwise. If whatever you've done in the management sector is saying that you are fitting for this program, they are ready to take you in. But before you conclude that this program is ready to take you in, it's very easy. Number one thing you need to do is ask the coordinator, just mail them, oh, this and this and that. I am looking forward applying. My background is on this, but because of so and so I have done in the past, which is in line with your program curriculum and goal, I am looking forward to applying for this particular program due to my interest in this area. Am I eligible based on my experience and not my background to apply for this program? It is simple yes and no question. If the program coordinator says that, oh, your experience is what taking you in for, they will tell you, yes, you can apply. Don't worry about your background. If your experience is not what taking you for, maybe you've not done so much significant thing, then they'll just say, oh, sorry, we can't take you in. So first thing first, reach out to the program coordinator based on the program you want to apply, either management or whatsoever. If they say proceed, that means they've seen some of the qualities that is needed in it, and that's a win-win for you. So you don't need to worry yourself, oh, am I qualified or not? If you are interested, you have everything needed to show for yourself. Ask the question with the coordinator. They give you the direct answer, and that answers it all. And yeah, just be intentional. Don't this quote I'll just say, don't reject yourself when they've not rejected you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's perfect, Scholar Samuel and Scholar Femi. Okay, she's laughing. Oh, he's really right. Both of them have said it all. The next person I'll call on is Innocent Omoyibo. Sorry if I did not pronounce your second name properly. Innocent Omoyibo.
No, that's fine. You pronounced it correctly. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, you can ask your question. We can hear you.
All right. So my question is like particularly directed to Samuel, right? Why he was speaking, he said two things that caught my attention. So first, when he was talking about believable story. So yeah, like this somewhere, I'm talking about somewhere 5.0. He was talking about believable story, and it caught my attention. What makes a story really believable? I mean, anybody could cook up a story. So what makes a story really, really believable, right? And that's one. Then the secondly, you also mentioned that everyone applying should give context, right? So context in the fact that you should not just state, I let the start. You should give, you should add this asterisk, right? But then you then realize that not everybody has a kind of profile, right? I mean, the vast majority of people that want to apply don't have that kind of profile. So why would someone want to be shooting themselves on the legs by maybe saying that, oh, they're like number 60 something in a pool of like 100 something persons, right? So those are my two questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Scholar Family and Scholar Samuel Olusunde, could you help us answer the question, please? And also, I would like to point out something. We have 15 minutes left. I will just wrap up by 10:30. The next 50 minutes to the next two questions we are going to have. Please let it be straight to the point. Thank you very much.
I think Scholar somewhere. I think the question was directed to somewhere Badekale.
Yes, I think so too.
Yeah. So
Okay. I basically understand your point, and the first two questions was people could cook up story, and that's why I said your CV is basically what confirms whatever story you're trying to tell. And I didn't show a copy of my CV, but one thing is for every single story you are saying in my CV, there's a link that actually goes to fact check it. And that's why it's almost impossible to cook stories because two things they will catch you in your interview phase. Because by the time you're in your interview phase and they start asking you so many questions, they basically know that this person, because they will scrutinize each of the research experience or whatever it is you stated on the whole thing. The only thing they might not just scrutinize is probably your background story, like the one of Femi's interesting story of when he was speaking cancer and all. But technically, they will scrutinize almost all your research experience, so much everything. So whatever it is, if you cook up it or if you cook it up, they would basically know and you are gone for. But for me, my CV, for every of those achievements, anything I was saying, there was a link that had a real life proof. For any research experience I did, there was a link. If it was email, there was a link. So as you are seeing it, you are reading it, you're saying it. Then the second one, contextualize. There are different ways to contextualize. Another way is always in percentage. It doesn't necessarily mean to say you were 50 out of 150. You could basically put it in percentages. You were in top, probably 10% of your class. You were in top, whatever. And it's not every data that needs to be contextualized. What I'm just trying to say is you need to put it in a way that basically helps you stand a greater fit. For example, you don't put things that would make you look less in your application. If your grades is not really up to the standard of whatever, just put you graduated with this grade and all, then focus on your strengths, basically. What makes you an outstanding candidate? That's why I said it's a storytelling thing. Whatever makes you an outstanding candidate is what you should put on your SOP. Now, that's why I will tell you, find apart from academic experiences, find research experiences, find volunteering experiences, like the way the speaker stated, find work experiences. All of these things would always stand you out and tell your story in such a way, probably while you were doing something, doing the volunteering, whatever, you were the head of something, and you led a team of over like 300 people, you led a team of over 200 people, you did this, you did that. All of those things technically are things that basically stand you out, not just your academic achievements. So the whole point is putting in your strongest positions as your experiences. So thank you. Because of time, I'll just shorten that up.
Okay. Thank you so much for your clarification on that question. The session is recorded to the person that asked. The next person I'm going to call on is Wosu Miracle. Wosu Miracle. After Wosu Miracle, Adeyemi Oluwadunsin Peter. and then I would read some questions in the chat box, because there are some questions in the chat box. If our scholars can answer them, they would. If they can answer them, I mean, by writing, that's fine. So who wants to can
Okay.
unmute?
Yeah. Good day, everyone. Okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I want to direct my question to the last speaker, Samuel. The scholarship you applied for and got, the sustainable smart cities and communities. That's a scholarship I want to apply for. I think I saw it on Erasmus Mundus catalog last year. So I want to understand and know what stood out for you in that scholarship, because I've been trying to prepare for the past few months on that particular scholarship. And I have a very strong desire. I'm a graduate of Alumni planning. So I want to really know what stood out as an engineering student. Yeah, I really want to know what stood out for you. Thank you.
Sorry, just a follow-up. What stood out in my application, or what stood out to me?
Yes, in your
from
application process. In the application process.
So I think probably my motivation letter. We didn't get feedback on our application, but I would say maybe my motivation letter, because I really tried to, tie my background into the theme of the program, and this comes from from experience with the program, from experience with the requirement of the program. I am an electrical engineer, but I am mostly interested in electrical engineering as a vector of of uh, of how do I put this, as a vector in cities, and communities. Even in my electrical engineering field, I am much more interested in the distribution level of electrical engineering. So I feel that because of this, I was able to present my profile in uh, in an appropriate way as required by the program. I hope I'm able to answer your question, because okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Scholar Samuel. Thank you. So next person is Adeyemi Oluwadun Peter. You can unmute and ask a question, please, in 5 minutes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
Go
you.
on.
Thank you very much. My name is Adeyemi, and my question is very straightforward. And my question is, I am a current master student here in Nigeria. Am I eligible to apply? Because if I want to apply for this, I would like to have some of the things I'm currently doing in my current master's studies here, and I would like to include them in my application. Would it by any chance affect my application in any way? I just want to clarify that part before I put in for the application. Thank you.
Okay, I think the three scholars, I think three of you can answer that.
There's no issue with adding your master's, your current master's experience to your application. I have some colleagues who also did a previous master's before they got the Erasmus award.
Yeah, just to add,
Thank you.
it's actually it's a strength in case you don't know, because it prioritizes that you could do research more. Like you said, I have a lot of colleagues, even from other countries, that had a master's before they even did. So I would even encourage you to put it, especially for Erasmus, because it's a greater strength. Even I even have a higher CGPA compared to your undergrad. It could be something that you could always try to balance out. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Now, Femi, do you want to add to that? Scholar
Not
Femi.
really. It has been said already. He can apply, and it's an additional advantage to him. So, and regarding the document, as long as your current master's degree, you'll be handing it before or before your start date program, then feel free to apply. So for instance, if you'll be graduating before October or September, probably the time the program of your selection of you being selected would be starting, then feel free to apply. But if it's not, maybe you are just starting your masters and you want to apply this year, well, it's still fine. You will just forfeit the one you are doing currently. I'm not sure about that, but it's always right now a particular school I know, he completed his masters before his start date for his program. So anyhow, either you've completed your master's degree, your previous master's degree or not. But as long as it's not an Erasmus Mundus master's degree, you are free to apply.
Okay, thank you so much, scholars. So last person is going to be Ajayi Adigun. Ajayi Adigun, you can ask your question.
Yes, thank you very much. What I want to ask is that as a graduate, I graduated with first class, but I don't have all those experience, like enough experience, like and even including this program, Togo, I've not even written anything like that. I don't have any research experience, any almost all those things are not ready with me yet. How am I going to, stand? How am I going to stand, as one of the person that will be able to achieve such a goal? Please, can you help me with that?
Sorry, can I answer this question?
Yes,
And
yes.
other can answer as well. And for the speaker, you are just me in 2024. So yeah, let me just
Yes.
I don't have first class.
That is why I directed it to here, because so that I'll be able to know my chance
Okay.
of.
Okay, so I was just you in 2024. I don't have anything aside the first class I had. So what did I do? Like I said, be conscious of what you want to do. Then I started with the remaining gap. Like I had about 3 months left before leaving my vicinity, my school vicinity. So what did I do? As much as I could. Okay, I can't say this publicly, but as much as I could, I started asking people around where I could get volunteering activities because I knew volunteering activities is quite needed. And the reason for volunteering activity is just to answer the question, what impact have you made in your country? You must have shown something, you must have shown a significant impact in your country before we can take you into our own country. So that is the answer to volunteering activities. And like, it's not like it must be so related to your program. So I started asking around where I could get volunteering activities for leadership positions as well. Say no matter the award, if the award was just 5 naira, put it there. As long as you are being recognized as for something significant, please put it there. If the award is just coastal biscuit they give you, you don't need to tell them that they gave you this biscuit as your award. As long as they recognize you as something for a particular stop, nothing is too small to be put to have in your CV. So for the publication, as I've said, you can, as like I was typing it, be a work in progress. It's not like you should have everything completely before you get selected. I used to say this: God doesn't qualify the qualified, He qualifies the unqualified. You can see it from, sorry for the Muslim brothers and the traditionalists. We can see it from the life of David in the Bible, from the life of Joseph in the Bible. We can even see it up to them, the disciples in the Bible as well, the tax collectors and the people Christ selected. We're not the perfect people. They are people that are work in progress that wants change. So you don't need to have everything superb before you start applying. So for instance, for the certifications, there's something we call smart work, not hard work. So I can't go in details with how you go about certifications, but maybe you can enter my DM. I can tell you more about how I went through the certifications aside. Because I knew I couldn't get publication, what else can I show to these people that will make them interested in me? I needed to get certifications in line with their program and not just any house certifications. For the publication, I started speaking with my supervisor if I can make a conference paper, if not a publication. So that way you can also get, and also there are also what we call co-authorship. When we make co-authorship, your like minds can come together, do a review paper and submit it for like for review, like a paper review, how would I call it, a publisher. Just send it out and you just put in your CV that, oh, this paper is under review. So these are the things you can, like, you can just, it's not compulsory you have it already stated that, oh, I have published this and this and that. You can just put under review, in progress. For awards and the likes, like I've said, any little thing that you are being recognized for, just put it there. You don't need to beat yourself. Oh, if I've done this and that and that. And what else do you need? Like, just start somewhere. Don't beat yourself. Don't beat your head up on, I need to have this and that and that. And don't trouble yourself on everything. You just start with the one you have available. Along the line, you won't know when you have everything needed for your application. For IELTS and TOEFL, as long as the program term is not compulsory, instead of putting that, I just requested for my university an English proficiency certificate to show for that. So you just start. Don't worry yourself on how would you get everything. Start. Be a work in progress. Thank you.
So are you now telling me that that TOEFL or IELTS, is it not compulsory or is it compulsory?
Some program will state it explicitly. If you have an English proficiency, you are free to use it. But some program will tell you compulsorily you have to have it. Does IELTS give you a chances? Does TOEFL, English proficiency in general, give you a chance? Yes, it matters. But because you are not financially buoyant to write all this, do not mean you should cut yourself short of the chances of getting your yes. If the program states that yes, you are free to apply even without that, please just submit the English proficiency certificate they request for, like I mean from your university. If they say compulsorily, you have to submit this exam result and then you don't apply for it. You are even giving yourself more freedom that, oh, finally, I think I won't be applying for this because I don't have this. At least your mind will be free, your conscience will be free that you're not applying because of a significant reason. So that's what I say to myself.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have come to the end of this call. I just want us to conclude at 10:30 because I really appreciate once again everybody, all participants who are joining this call. If you have any questions, reach out on the group. I'm going to answer your questions. I'm going to share the slides for each scholars, and we are going to share the recording on the group. Thank you so much for joining. Let's appreciate all our scholars. Let's give them a round of applause once again. And trust me, tomorrow is going to be better than today because we're going to have a larger audience. We're going to stream on YouTube. We apologize once again for the inconveniences. We are very sorry. And thank you so much. We love you. My Tribe Africa loves you. All our scholars love you. Follow them on LinkedIn. Follow us on LinkedIn as well. And please take application serious this 2027. Please, I'm begging everybody. This is a life-changing opportunity, and Erasmus program is a life-changing opportunity. If you can't reach out to me right now, maybe you join through a different link. Ask the person that shared the link with you. Wherever you saw the link, just put a comment and ask. We are going to respond to you. Thank you so much for joining, and we appreciate. Unfortunately, we are going to continue tomorrow. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever we are coming from. Have a good night, rest everyone.
Good night.
Thank you, our scholars. Thank you, our scholars. Thank you.
Brother
Thank you,
Femi,
scholars.
please, how am I going to get your contact so that I'll be able to
Just
message
reach out
you?
to the organizer, please. Sorry.
Reach out.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.